Open Borders, or the Camp of the Saints Problem, from Murray and Rothbard's Nations by Consent. The question of open borders or free immigration has become an accelerating problem for classical liberals. This is first because the welfare state increasingly subsidizes immigrants to enter and receive permanent assistance, and second because cultural boundaries have become increasingly swamped. I began to rethink my views on immigration when, as the Soviet Union collapsed, it became clear that ethnic Russians had been encouraged to flood into Estonia and Latvia in order to destroy the cultures and languages of these peoples. Previously, it had been easy to dismiss as unrealistic Jean Raspil's anti-immigration novel The Camp of the Saints, in which virtually the entire population of India decides to move in small boats into France, and the French, infected by liberal ideology, cannot summon the will to prevent economic and cultural national destruction. As cultural and welfare state problems have intensified, it became impossible to dismiss Raspil's concerns any longer. However, on rethinking immigration on the basis of the anarcho-capitalist model, it became clear to me that a totally privatized country would not have open borders at all. If every piece of land in a country were owned by some person, group, or corporation, this would mean that no immigrant could enter there unless invited to enter and allowed to rent or purchase property. A totally privatized country would be as closed as the particular inhabitants and property owners desire. It seems clear then that the regime of open borders that exists de facto in the U.S. really amounts to a compulsory opening by the central state, the state in charge of all streets and public land areas, and does not generally reflect the wishes of the proprietors. Under total privatization, many local conflicts and externality problems, not merely the immigration problem, would be neatly settled. With every locale and neighborhood owned by private firms, corporations, or contractual communities, true diversity would reign, in accordance with the preferences of each community. Some neighborhoods would be ethnically or economically diverse, while others would be ethnically or economically homogeneous. Some localities would permit pornography or prostitution, or drugs or abortions. Others would prohibit any or all of them. The prohibitions would not be state-imposed, but simply be requirements for residents or use of some person's or community's land area. While statists who have the itch to impose their values on everyone else would be disappointed, every group or interest would at least have the satisfaction of living in the neighborhoods of peoples who share its values and preferences. While neighborhood ownership would not provide utopia or a panacea for all conflicts, it would at least provide a second-best solution that most people might be willing to live with.